Sound, sound, even the ones from deep into meta Muslim meditating on the area, and Muslim people Mahathero from Bangladesh, Vatican, Nancy there, and distinguished guests, including the chairman of Professor Mirisse and the directors of Sarah's. And dear friends, especially today, I'm invited to conduct this Dhamma Talk, mainly to commemorate departed beloved father, husband, and father-in-law, and finally our friends, who has done marvelous service towards the Buddha's Sasana while propagating the Dhamma, not only in Sri Lanka but also all over the world. Departed distinguished person, Alec Robertson. Today we are going to commemorate his good virtues and qualities, and then to concentrate on the Buddha's noble virtues by ourselves, imagining those qualities into our mind, and then to achieve the Buddha's teachings of what he asks us to follow to gain noble blessings and the bliss of Nibbana. Before that, I would like to invite everyone to join us to practice short meditation before starting my Dhamma talk. I would like to invite everybody to join us to practice metta meditation. Metta, that means loving kindness. It's not completely love, L-O-V-E. Love is kind of selfish. People used to say, love as long as you love me. Otherwise, just mind your business or go away. But when we talk about metta, it's completely pure. Without asking for anything in return, our metta thoughts are credited to straightforward, regardless of gender, color, religion, etc. Therefore, having pure thoughts in your mind, start with you and then to continue towards family members and parents, teachers, friends, neutral people, and unfriendly people, finally towards all the beings. Please concentrate on my voice. Later on, you can have your own metaphors to yourself, just for 2 minutes. Aham Mahathero Hoi Abhyakadyo Amido Hoi Sukhi Atta Paripara May I become anger, may I become hatred, may I be well and happy. Maya Mata Pitu Achari Upajaya Hita Sattva Madhyadika Sattva Neri Sattva Ayantu Abhyakadya Anigha Sukhi Atthāni Paripārantu. Like myself, may my parents, teachers, friends, little people, uncle people, be well. May they be from well. May they be from heaven. May they be well. Sabbe sattva bhavantu sukhitaā. Like my step, may all become and become better. May they be well. May they all be well. May all living beings be well. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Eka pubbalo bhikkhave loke uppajjamano uppajjati bahujana hikaya bahujana sukhaya lokanukampaya atthaya hitaya sukhaya deva manussaya. Atamo eka pubbalo tathāgato araham samma sambuddho. I feel like homage to the Buddha, fully enlightenment, awakenment, and compassionate God. There's a noble person forever who exists on this earth for the well-being of goods and humans. Who is that noble person? The Buddha, fully enlightened one, awakened one, and compassionate one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. When one comes to dear friends, today we gather here to commemorate of departed former President of Sons of the Buddha, Mr. Alec Robertson, beloved father, Cassandra Robertson, and beloved husband of Madam Robertson, and of the children and family members. Also, most of other members have good memories in your mind with departed Mr. Alec Robertson, who has done marvelous service towards this Buddha Sasana, not only here in Sri Lanka, but also all over the world, who touched the Buddha's followers' heart and then to ask them to apply the teachings of the Buddha into their mind. As a result of that, even this present moment, though I have never seen him, also I never talked to him, but still, when I heard about his service and personal character as a Buddhist, I think still he is not a fully enlightened person, but he had kind of respectable, appreciated qualities in his life according to the Buddha's word. When I read his articles and books, it's written by him, still, I have lots of devoted feelings of the Buddha. Of course, he has such a erudite person or wise person who is able to convey the message of the Buddha towards normal or ordinary human beings. With those thoughts keeping in my mind, I would like to continue my Dhamma Talk. This is not a kind of evident delivery Dhamma lecture, but still it's a simple Dhamma. Therefore, I would like to invite everyone to concentrate not only on my personal voice, but on the Buddha's noble teachings. With each single word, just you have to focus on the Buddha's noble path. What are those characters? What I'm going to touch today in this my Dhamma Talk? The Buddha. Who's the Buddha? Who's the Buddha? Question ourselves. We are supposed to question ourselves. Who is the Buddha? Just think this question is asking not a traditional Buddhist, so-called traditional Buddhist. So to say so-called traditional Buddhist, but there's some other put on it. But as a practical Buddhist, Buddhist is not a Buddha's word. Later part of the Buddha's order, just we put this label Buddhist. Or in similar about that. What's the Buddha's word? The Buddha's words are Upasaka or Upasika. Or means that means Upasaka or Upasika, the Buddha's words. How to become an Upasaka or Upasika? Who has to take refuge in the Buddha with understanding. With understanding. What's that? Simply Simply, transient are all component things. Sabbe sankhara anicca. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. Transient are all component things. Everything that arises get dissolved. Everything that has the nature of arising has the nature of passing away. That's the anicca we call as ignorance. With that realization, we have to take in the Buddha. Each time when we recite Buddha's Saranam Gacchami, that means I have to realize the real nature of this life. This is what the Buddha asks us to practice in our homes with our mind and methods. Therefore, when I question myself, who is the Buddha? Truly, who is the Buddha? I'm not talking about the Buddha's personal character or background. That means his mother and father's name, or his former wife or son, or his layman life about. I'm not talking about, but the Buddha's noble teachings. I would like to summarize into 2 words. That means the Buddha means nothing but compassion. The Buddha means nothing but compassion. Of course, there are main teachings what we are supposed to focus on. That means 3 characteristics of existence. 3 characteristics of existence we are supposed to focus on by all kinds of followers of the Buddha. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means simply impermanence, and dukkha simply. I would like to change the suffering into what's that? That means unsatisfactoriness. Unsatisfactory. Rather than just to say suffering, that's all right. Impermanence, unsatisfactory, and another non-self. Non-self. Mainly we have to focus on these 3 characteristics of existence. Of course, it's all right, but still, simply, we have to start working on the past. That means with compassion and wisdom. As I explained before, at the beginning of this talk, I asked you to think about the Buddha. That means nothing but compassion and wisdom. Therefore, each time when we recite Buddha's Gacchami, simply I take the teaching of the Buddha, but it's okay literal, in perspective of literal meaning, that's all right, but meaningfully, I promise myself spiritually practice kindness and wisdom. Now we have to clarify what compassion or kindness is according to the Buddha's character. The Buddha, he practiced perfections, just to say 10 perfections. He practiced for millions, billions lives in his past. We call as paramita or perfections. Why? To eradicate all kind of desires which are giving, sorrowful situations in this samsara journey. Samsara means simply the circle of death and birth, according to the teachings of the Buddha, including you and myself, all kind of beings, those who exist in 31 planets, have been suffered in 4 hells in their past for millions of lives, including yourself and myself. We have been suffered for millions of lives. It's all right. Now, we have to be mindful with this present situation. Simply, we begin to. Now, rather than saying life is a suffering, birth is a suffering, why not we have to invite ourselves to think about you got a rare chance of humanity. compared to animal world. So being a human is so rare, and then I get this rare chance. I got some news from the Western world. Next year is going to be world human population is over 8 billion. It's going to be over 8 billion next year human population. I would like to invite us and question myself and ask a question you why I became human. Why I got this rare chance rather than becoming one animal. Because this, it is at the present in front of our eyes. They are being on this earth. They are in harmony in a way. Sometimes with us, that's all right. So it's easy to compare and then have a validity or nobility to this human life. So that's why we are asking everyone to think about this rare chance of humanity. Being a human is so hard. It's very important. I'm having kind of sympathetic thoughts in my mind as a monk when I go through Sri Lanka's rural areas. It sometimes all over the world while associating with called as Buddhists. They are touching the layers of the root, layers of the trees of all the Buddha's teachings. We are supposed to touch at the root of the Buddha teachings. We are practicing, we are following lots of rituals. Can you remember? Last month, we already completed Chiva Mass, robe offering month, we already completed. After 3 months, having lots of rituals, we completed these 3 months or 4 months time. Mostly we focus on some rituals. I'm not rejecting any kind of rituals. Everything I'm not rejecting, but still we have to remind ourselves what the Buddha asked us to practice daily. Nahi manhan mala danda di puja karita. Mama puja karantina dhamma dhamma patipatina. Is that okay? Is that all right when you offer the Buddha with flowers or beautiful blossoms? That's all right. But still, if you want to respect the Buddha really, yes, you have to focus on the path of the Buddha. Therefore, at the beginning of our path, we have to start with compassion. As I explained, in our past, we have suffered for millions of lives, especially being in four types of pills is a major type of pills. So that's why I categorize the four narrativism taken as well. And then we got this rare chance, but still, paritang mamajitang. This life is short. Life is short. Life is uncertain. But there is a jivitang anirtang maranamu. It says we are having in this era, we are having 100 years long life. How many people you can remember? Those who got 100 years long journey or long life. How many people who spent over 100 years? How many people you can remember? Sometimes few. I remember more than 25 as a month. Every day we have to perform rituals for funerals. So, therefore, it says 100 years long life we are having in this era, but everyone is not able to, have 100 years long. Do not forget. Practice this. This is like an instruction called as kamatahan. Is Sinhala. Kamatahan. Practice this, this word was that. In time, we may leave this world keeping everything behind. It doesn't matter how much you love yourself and others by saying, you are in my life. But still, in time, we may leave this world keeping everything behind. that the real nature of this life. So are we mindful with this advice? Are we mindful with the Buddha's advice? I would say most of the so-called followers are not mindful. Of course, they are knowledgeable. Of course, they are knowledgeable. They have knowledge, but knowledge and the realization is completely different. Doctors are having their own knowledge, engineers are having their own knowledge, accordingly, and lawyers, accountants, business people, teachers, who are on their subject, of course, they are knowledge. But still, are we mindful with the Buddha's great teachings of Anicca Dukkha? That means we have to realize. We have to practice renunciation. Of course, it's me. We have to practice conventional truths. That's all right. The Buddha never rejected conventional truth. That means simply, it's me. That's all right. So there are lots of teachings with Sigalovada Sutta. The Buddha gave beautiful lessons to name young person of Sigala how to practice layman life within this very life or at this layman life. That's not okay. There are 6 types of teachers we call as in Sinhala, Sadhisa Namaskar. How to respect or how to follow 4 directions with respect. How to follow 6 directions with respect between parents and children, wife and husband, students and pupils, so on. There are so many beautiful teachings, of course, that your layman life is not rejected by the Buddha, but we have to train with absolute truth. Simply say, conventionally it's me when I say, okay, it's me. This is what I got as my character or my life. It's all right when you use it. It is conventional, but absolutely nothing to say my life. It is conventional. Absolutely say, and nothing, absolutely nothing to say my life. Even this single hair in this body, we don't have 100% control. Simply say, this is what I really need to do. This is what I am going to create in my thoughts as my aspirations or thoughts. Oh, it's all right. But we don't have, complete or full control with single hair in this body. So that's we have lots of experiences last 2 years because of COVID-19. We thought, all right, not only we are not only that death is not available, but then everything other than death, we are able to control everything. People just used to think, but simply I would say, even single death, it became a dangerous thing to us. Finally, we were losing everything. We got upset. Our mind is not trained to accept the truth of, departure or impermanence. And we got upset, and then the World Health Organizations, when the World Health Organizations ask us to be alone, keep the distance each other, and then think about yourself and others, people got upset. That's the problem. It's not the problem of their physical body, but the problem is their mind. Mind is not trained to accept the truth of constant changes. It's having constant changes when we talk about our human body and its behavior. Even when I use me, M and E is already changed. When I use the word of I, it's already, for thousands, I is already changed. This is what we are going to say. Nothing is permanent, but not to cry. Not to cry, but to be mindful. Not to be inactive in your, peaceful path. But of course, you have to be inactive with evil thoughts, words, and actions. We have to refrain from killing, stealing, having sensual or sexual misbehavior, and lying, including harsh words, slanderous, and gossip. Also, not to take intoxicating drugs and intoxicating drinks and drugs, and so on. It's a kind of major problem is destroying human validities. That's the problem. And simply invite sympathy, empathy, mercy, patience, and respect. Avoid killing, stealing. So, why? Nothing is permanent. In time, we may leave this world keeping everything behind what you are going to hold while asking for happiness. Simply, people used to think, this is what my progress, this is what my happiness. What do you think about your future? This is what I really need to be happy. What's that? I have to learn. And then I have to study. And then I have to find a job. Okay. And then I have to earn money. All right. And then it depends on, I have to get married. All right. And then build a house. Maybe 2-story, 3-story building compared to others. My one it should be a palace. And then so never is never end. It's never ending. Therefore, without a train of anicca in follows the mind, they never complete their thoughts or aspirations or business. Even they are on their death. If someone is going to ask, have you done with all kind of aspirations and thoughts and business? I have lots of things to go through. There are lots of things at the list I have to follow. Somehow, I have to survive. Can you help me? That's the nature. I have, joined lots of people. I have joined patients, those who are having lots of, a serious disease. They are going through treatment. When I talk to them, they are not able to concentrate on the Buddha's words of impermanence or anicca. When we talk about anicca, even with your own body, you don't have control. This is what the Buddha asked us at the beginning of his teachings. Subject to get sick and old. Anytime we have to meet with final destinations of death, there's unsatisfactory thought that we have to focus on. Is life, sicknesses, death, departing from loved one, associating with unfriendly people, not getting what we want. Finally, these five khandhas of Panchaskandha or Panchakhanda for reality, feelings or sensations, and perception, and mental formations, sanskara, and the consciousness, and vijnana. These five aggregators are created by life. We call this panchakhanda. We used to say it's a life. It's not only a body, physical body. Physical body means it's a rupa. Rupa means corporeality or form. But simply together, we used to say panchakhanda means these four things go together and create a being. And then we call this my life. Of course, is subject to get sick and all. Finally, we have leave this world. That's the real nature. Again, I would like to remind myself and yourself what nothing is perfect. And then, but to be mindful. Conventionally, just continue your life. We are supposed to, as monks, of course, we have to work with prerequisites. partner, that means boat, and ropes. With these three requisites, just I have to handle. Sometimes I have to tackle with, of course. Nowadays we are busy with layman people's activities, just we have to support them. All right, but still, I have to focus on these three requisites, three ropes and partner. This is what the Buddha asked to be simple, like being a monk. We should be secluded. Of course, there are thousands of people, surround us. But still, I have to train my mind to be secluded. We call as noble seclusion. Of course, this is what we really need. Remember, it doesn't matter whether you are ordained or not. Of course, you are lay people, but still, if you want to get rid of this samsaric journey, or at least if you want to have, real happiness of mental health, we call it as mental happiness. Definitely, you have to realize this, real nature of this impermanence of unaction. That means between wife and husband, parents and children. Of course, any time you may live, but still living at the present moment, we know the truth, and then we are taught by these teachings, respect each other. Respect each other. This is what people are asking in general. For the sake of the Buddha, for people's sake God, in God's, in the Buddhist order, for the sake of gods, please talk to me loudly. Respect me loudly. Treat me loudly. Otherwise, let me to leave this world. People used to say, so that's why. If you want to find real happiness, we are not asking about, as I explained before, people used to find happiness with money, houses, vehicles, jewelries, so with worldly things. Of course, they are not giving, they are supporting us to find mental happiness, but it depends on our understanding according to the Buddha's teachings. That means like these beautiful blossoms, a simple example, these blossoms are subject to get withered. Pudding, Buddha, Kusumina, so it is simple, that's all right. These beautiful blossoms are subject to get withered. Having comparison with my own body, I would like to get sick and old. Anytime I may leave this world, fall as I have to die, I have to leave this world anytime. So be punctual. You are fine, your duties. Wake up in the morning, give a respect, and then give a chance, give a validity, give a nobility, because you have been suffered for millions life in the past, and then you got this fair chance. But still, for each moment, we are losing our time in this life. For each moment, we are losing our time in this life. So, did I use this fair chance for a good cause? Of course, people used to say, without having training of nature, why not? I studied well. I have these degrees. I have good family, and then we are living in harmony. We have beautiful kids. I have, beautiful wife and husband. They are so smart. That's all right. We are traveling all over the world. We are having lots of, gatherings, and then we used to enjoy our lives. That's all. But when we face for the reality of this physical body, for example, I don't like to mention their names of the hospital or the city. Those who, this lady who is a director of that hospital, at the early age of 50s, she got serious illness. She had her own, she was the one of the directors of her company. She got this rare serious illness. She went through treatment. Of course, she's lucky. she was. Why? She came to mind with knowledge, the reality of this life. She had all kind of facilities, health-wise. She got all kind of facilities. Whatever the facilities she is able to get, of course she got from other end of the world. But she got to know, and never recover, and never get recovered by this seriousness. Of course, she focused on the Buddha's major teachings of anicca dukkha. She focused on anicca, it's all right. And then when she talk about dukkha, what's dukkha? Dukkha means if you don't accept the reality, and this we are invited to have unsatisfactory or dukkha, as you call, is suffering. But I realize this is the nature. I realize this is the nature. If I came to this world with these five khandhas or five aggregates, we call as so-called body, physical body or myself or life, of course I have to go through sicknesses, old age, any time I may make it final destination of death. This is what I am facing for. This is what I am coming through. She got to know, she realized. This is said. Remember, I have no to pass in my mind. Definitely, I'm honestly speaking, she was telling, I'm honestly speaking, when I said, my mind is all right. I'm calming my mind. I'm having soothing with my thoughts is all because I feel in a way it's hard to bear with this pain. But I don't want to have kind of feeling sorrow. But still, physically I feel kind of physical pains. It's hard to bear up. But I realize by the ask. Nayam Bhikkhave Kayo Mahakam. Your body is not belongs to you. Your physical body is not belongs to you, but it's created by these five aggregates, which is subject to get sick and all anytime you may be this body. You may see a mind. And then we are going to train our mind with impermanence. Of course, and mind is trained to accept the truth of impermanence and anicca. And then it's all right. Mind is here. This is the leader. He's the leader. He's the leader with these five khandhas. And then leader is going to train you, advise us, warn you are subject to get sick and all. So mind is all right, lead is trained, he is knowledgeable and he is advisable. He is a good leader with all experiences, and then so when the body gets sick and all, sometimes who has to go through treatment, but still he who has no pain and sorrow. Only thing she realized that's the nature. So that's why they got these physical pains. See, she said, I have no capacity. Only thing is, I think this is what's happening. Sometimes, when we come here, it's raining. We use the umbrella. We never, got angry with rain. Use the umbrella rather than having, evil thoughts with rain. We hold umbrella. We held an umbrella and we came here. And we had no any problems. So why not? If we have trained with anicca or impermanence, we don't know things like unsatisfactory beings or dukkha, because that's the nature. This is actually I got with my, just to say, I'm not just showing my self-centered feelings, but to say, to prove my understanding, I got a surgery 10 years back with my backbone. At that time, some attendants or nurses, male nurses came and who treated me. At the beginning, on first day, who recognized, formidable, Are you? Just calling my name whenever. Are you? Yes. 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 They were waiting for me. Then I asked, why? Are you asking? No. You are talking about the Buddha's anicca, dukkha, anatta. So you will see, how come? Because you are delivering sermons on anicca. You are giving sermons to people. So you are inviting people to not to have worries because of the sicknesses and things. You are doing lots of service. And then how can you got this kind of sicknesses or these problems? What happened to you? All right, yes. And then tell me, why the Buddha got sick? Why the Buddha got sick? Arahant Pansa got sick. That's the question we have to ask. We have to ask. That's the question. If you are going to have 500s for this life, of course, we are coming with sicknesses, old age, and then we have to leave this world. We call that death. So, whether the Buddha or Arahanto, whoever, those who are having, these 500s, of course, they have to go to anicca, dukkha, anatta. But I ask you to question and realize and then to keep in your mind and then to train and then to observe and think once. Just we are pouring water like into an empty cups, but then suffering, suffering, suffering. Of course, we have suffered for millions lives in the past, but we have met with the Buddha's noble teachings. We got this their chance. In Pali, we got Upadi Sampati. Is Upadi means defilements, kilesa. But this kilesa gave us a rare chance, that means human life, rather than being an enemy, rather than being a ghost or devil. Just we got this rare chance of human life. So it came with defilements, but we got it's a good things, good chance. So and then we have to respect. We have to use for a good cause. The Buddha said, Kiccho manusa patilago, kiccang machana jivita. Kiccang saddhamma savanam, kiccang buddhanam uppada. See, these four things are together. The Buddha's existence is noble and rare. Suko Buddha Upada, the Buddha's appearance is a happiness. It's all right. And then Kicho Manusa Patilago, Kichang Machana Jivita. Being a human is rare. Also, continuation of human life is rare. How? Without having mental and physical problems. Of course, we don't have 100% control with this physical body. We have to go through sicknesses and things. But when we practice the teachings of the Buddha with compassion and wisdom, karuna and panya, with compassion and wisdom, we are having lots of chances to, at the beginning, tadang. Tadang means we are suppressing, we are controlling at the beginning. Most of the people are just, they are suppressing the problem. But we are asking to, upachara samadhi, more than suppression, just we have to go through to realize the nature. This is what I'm talking about here today. The relationship between conventional truth and absolute truth. Conventional is me, but absolutely nothing to say, my mind. We have to train with our word, not with our brain. Of course, we have to have help with brain, with our brain. But the thing is, we have to train our consciousness, our mind. We are having lots of knowledge in our brain. People think when they are knowledgeable, oh, I'm realized. Sometimes they say I'm enlightened. That's the problem. So we have to, be careful with man that is conceived. That's the man is a problem. It's a major problem when we teach and when we learn and teach Dhamma. Most of the followers are, with man or inconceived. And then they think, oh, we are enlightened. We are enlightened. But you are having, myself, we are having knowledge. Why not? Most of the people here, you may pass the Buddhism, so-called Buddhism. I need to say the Buddha's noble teachings. Whole Buddhism, you pass with distinction. You have talked about or discussed on Eight Noble Path, Four Noble Truth, and Paticca Samuppada on interdependent origination and karma, rebirth, so on. Everything you got to know, and then you got a credit or distinction pass for your honors, areas, and even for higher degrees, so-called, including myself. We are having a doctorate, but still touch our mind and ask, whatever the things we are dwelling in our brain as knowledge, still our mind accepted or not. Our mind has to accept what the brain says. Of course, we know. Departing from loved one is the nature. That's the real nature one. Anytime we may leave our loved ones. And then when I participate in or when I attend in funerals, 90% people, drop tears. They are pouring tears. They are crying. They are asking themselves, not themselves, they are asking us, Venerable Sir, why my husband or why my wife, my mother, father, children, why they departed us? I never thought they are going to depart us. I never thought. I never thought. Why did you listen to Dhamma? Why did you read? Why did you pass the exam talking about karma and rebirth and Four Noble Truth? But still they say, yes, I know, but hard to make my mind. But I know that means the facts are in their mind, brain, but the mind is not trained. So that's what they are asking that. I know, but hard to make my mind. So when will be the day we are going to make our mind with nature or imbalance? Should be right now. So when we practice for establishment of mindfulness, we call that Satara Satipatthana, Kayam Pasana. With Kayam Pasana, we have to concentrate on physical bodily action with anicca, or unsatisfactory. And then we are not going to invite dukkha because that's the nature. This is what I realize as I got this, my ordination at the early age of 9. At the 8, I came to the monastery, practiced 1 year, and then I became a monk at the early age of 9. I studied at the University of Colombo in Singapore, specialty. And then I got a government, I appointed as a government teacher for teaching Buddhism at BSN College for Politics. And then I left Sri Lanka to propagate the teachings of the Buddha to Canada. Nearly 10 years, I worked hard. At the beginning, I tried to understand the background of their culture and their traditions, how to express teachings of the Buddha accordingly in the Western society. When I use the word of sensual pleasure, completely they are talking about sexual pleasure. But when we talk about 5 hindrances, that means pancha nivara, kama chanda means not only sexual act, but the sensual act should be there. They ask me, Venerable, you have to be mindful and then to be careful when we use the word of sensual in the best, kama chanda, not only that, with our 5 senses we are going to have problems, but completely we are addressing on sexuality. So this is what actually at the very beginning of my journey in the West, I try to learn how to understand the Western background and then to talk to the people or interested people on Buddhism, those who are coming from all over. And then I got my master's and PhD, but still I'm training my mind. Still, I honestly speaking, still I have kind of sometimes, kind of attachment. But I'm not quite it. But kind of attachment. And then I'm thinking, oh, should I, before dying, before leaving this world, should I touch the door of my journey? That means there's irradications of this having attachment of five khandhas, the destroying of Sakkaya. Can you touch the door of Sakkaya to destroy? That means Amata Sadhara. At least you have to touch. Amata Sadhara, that means almost done. Almost you are in. That means in journey of Buddha's path. This is what I really need. So, and then with these experiences, I'm asking you, even not today, even Mr. Prasanta and your mother, you are not in my family members. But today, when we commemorate on our father's qualities and virtues and his noble service towards this Buddha Sasana, I feel, anyway, sometimes we were in the same family or under one roof. So we met together, and then we are talking about who's your father and then your husband, and we became friends, Dhamma friends, and then we have to go through this Buddha's journey. This is what I feel. Therefore, with compassion, start with your own. With compassion, start your own. Normally, compassion means paradukke sati sadhunam hade kampanam karoti karuna. When you feel someone is in danger situation, when someone is in hard time or who is in problems, and then you have to simply say, you have to feel your heart is melting. That at the same time, we have to feel sorry, not sympathy. It's okay when you start with sympathy, but you have to have empathy. Empathy means you have to feel others, conceptions, others' senses. And then you have to think about your own, but not to attach to the person or the objects, but to think about as your own. The Buddha said, Ajjata. When you practice on Vipassana, first thing is you have to focus on Ajjata. Ajjata means within your own. You have to see, you have to observe, you have to realize within yourself, nothing is permanent. With your own realization, and then Bahita Aramana means with your loved ones, say, with your parents, brothers and sisters, wife, husband, kids, so on, like myself. They don't want to be beaten by anyone else, like myself. I like myself. Everybody loves themselves. Nobody wants to be beaten by anyone else. Why not? Having comparison with this truth, and then we have to respect everyone equally, equanimity, that means equally, we have to respect. This is what we are supposed to. That means we have to start with our own compassion within myself, because for a short period of time in our journey, we meet your father, met your mother for a short period, and then you met your father for a short period. And the friends, the Mr. Robertson was a former president of this society, and the most of people have lots of experiences with him. You may not go. If he's not an enlightened person, when he leaves this world, okay, to karma, he has got another life. And then, what the connection with present moment with you? You don't have any connection because he's gone. Sometimes he in other family. As a human, noble person, as at least virtuous person, he's got a real chance of humanity again with some new people. We are commemorating his 23rd anniversary. Of course, just to say, it could be he's a 22 years old son or daughter. You don't have any connections or relationships with him. That's the age. Therefore, before leaving this world, respect each other with compassion. Compassion should be within yourself first, and with all real experiences. With your own real experiences, you can treat others. The problem is, we feel sympathy, we are losing empathy. We feel sorry for them, but we are not going to help them with own realizations. When we talk about empathy, definitely what the Buddha asks us to practice metta, karuna, mudita. Mudita means sympathetic joy, selfless happiness, and then upekha. Upekha means equanimity. It's not a simple Just when you have to say, I'm treating everybody equally, but it's having a depth knowledge of this practice. That means we have to work with this, how conducts this life. Like myself is subject to get sick and all, and then finally we have to leave this world any time, like other people. We have to respect each other. Like my mother and father, the Buddha us. The Buddha talk to venerable monks, especially when you look at a woman, just treat her like your own mother. Who is on your mother's age, who is in your mother's age, treat her like your own mother. So sister, daughter, just think about treat her without having any kind of lustful thoughts. Also, without having any angry feelings. Why not? You know, I was in abroad. I was abroad. I was in Canada. You know, nearly 10 to 12 years. Non-Sri Lankans, those who are completely different from us, you know, they are not Sri Lankans or Buddhist. Or sometimes when we talk to them, sometimes some people used to say, whenever, if your teachings are true, that means karma and rebirth, I feel in your past lives, it could be you are my son. You are my son. This is what I feel. Because I feel kind of rebirth when we talk to each other, regardless of our color, our religion, race, country, culture, so on. So finally, the Buddha says us with compassion and metta and mudita and upekha, equanimity, treat everybody regardless of gender, color, religion, everything. This is all. When I have my own real compassion or kindness, I'm able to spread over real compassion. Otherwise, we are pretending. Otherwise, we are pretending. If I get chance to fulfill my thoughts, and then I pretend I'm all right. But when I lose my thoughts and wishes, my kindness also going to lose. This is the nature. They are not trained with impermanence of anicca. Definitely, if you are going to treat with impermanence of anicca, our basic things, starting with metta, is going to be fulfilled according to the Buddha's teaching. So, be compassion. It's time when we decide Buddha's Dhammika. And then only I explain what wisdom is. Simply, everything that has the nature of arising has the nature of passing away. Yang kinchi samudaya dhamma sabbata. I think my time is going to over. So anyway, so I'm inviting myself very well. The Buddha have given a good word to address us all as Naga. Hey Naga. Everybody can address this is Hey Naga. Are you real follows the Buddha? Are you real follows the Buddha? Hey Naga. Are you real follows the Buddha? And then honestly, be kind. Of course, you may ask, I'm all right, but there are lots of evil people. Those who are going to rob us, they are going to grab us, they are going to steal us. There are kind of political problems, and then societal and religious racism. There are lots of problems going on. Even in Sri Lanka, all over the world, people are fighting. See, and then you may ask, how come and become a real kind person? Again, you are working with your knowledge, which is in there. We have to work with mind, which is trained according to the Buddha's teachings, anicca dukkha. If you are going to train with impermanence anicca, we are not going to have dukkha. That means everything. Whoever comes to this world, who has to live as it is. This is what we are going to train our mind. And then be mindful, respect yourself, use for a good cause this life, at the same time, respect others, starting with your family members until we met with all living beings. We have to protect our human body. At the same time, we have to protect our mind from evil thoughts of strong attachment and aversion, envy, and hatred, jealousy. So, this is what the Buddha said. When you decide Buddha Sammantakha, if you want to respect the Buddha really, follow the Buddha's teaching. Simply compassion and wisdom. I would like to you have conclusion, my son. by the business of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Dear Madam, Roberts, and son and family. And chairman of this Sons of the Buddha, Professor Manavisen and directors. And participants will discuss by the basis of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. May be well, happy, and peaceful. Finally, attain supreme Nibbana. Aha sattha umantha devanaka mahititha punyantang moditva cirang rakhantu sasanam cirang rakhantu desanam cirang rakhantu lokasasanam.
Much made on the two years of the Dhamma meeting and the nature. He also opened the floor to the discussion one day.